What up, it's your boy, Nick Incredible Man, and yes, I am back at it again, and this is my discussion / review for Black Clover episode 127, man. Yes, it was so good. It was wonderful. I really enjoyed it, and in true Black Clover fashion, they gave us some seriousness, some information, and the comedy, which was in true Black Clover fashion, man. So, let's get into this episode.
Just take it, don't wait for someone to break it. Take control, then don't just take it. Hey, you can make it happen, you just gotta take some action. Take the ship and be the captain.
So, man, this episode was absolutely legit. I really loved it, and I want to talk about it so much in depth, but I don't want to spoil it for non-manga readers. So, I'm kind of going to try to pick and choose the topics that I want to talk about, because I could talk about it so much and go in depth to it, but I can't because I don't want to spoil it for non-manga readers. So this episode, we see Yami, straight out for last week's episode, talking to Gordon to try to talk about his family, to find out more about curses and Akuma and the other world magic and forbidden curses and forbidden spells and all of that other stuff that's from the other world. He needed to talk to Gordon's family, and then Gordon was like, "My family? Oh, I don't know," because he tried to talk to his family about Asta when Asta's arms were cursed, and it didn't really go off well, or he didn't really get anywhere. And Yami told him that, well, hey, we don't have a choice, because as of right now, Asta's life is on the line, his life and Nero's life. So we kind of got to get the information out. We need to find out something that we can work with. So Gordon goes to reach out with his family, and then we kind of get like a little flashback, or like kind of like maybe like a thought process of him thinking back when he was a kid, and we see him, his family was heavily involved in curse magic, and he just wanted to make friends. And the fun thing that I love is that we see a different side of Gordon this episode, and we see a different side of his family from our perspective and from Gordon's perspective, because he thought his family was a certain type of way and they're not. And that's the fun part of this aspect about this episode and Black Clover, the series itself. So we get there, we see him going to find out about his family, we see his little flashback, we see little mini Gordon, and then we see that Yami sent Gordon, Gray, Gauche, and Asta to talk to his family, so Gordon would just have to go by himself. And I love the trio, well, the group that he sent to go out. We knew Asta had to go because they may have needed something straight from Asta, sure. So he sent Gray and Gauche, and their whole little group has been together for the most part ever since everyone was separated during the Elven arc, when they were left at the Black Bull's base. And I love that they've become their own little gang, and every time there's something where they gotta split off, they go together. And I love that because they're wonderful characters. They're weird, like Asta mentioned this episode, like the whole Black Bull's base is weird, but I love their chemistry together. They play off each other so well, and they just have fun with each other. So we get there and we get introduced to Gordon's family, and it was hilarious, man. It was absolutely wonderful. We see Ghost freaking out, we see Gray freaking out, we see Asta freaking out. Asta doesn't normally really freak out that much, him or Ghost, but both of them was freaked out by Gordon's family. It was like, how do all of you look the exact same? There's no possible way. And then Ghost was like, you didn't know each other before you were married. Why do you all look the same? The dog looks the same. It's like, no, this is way too weird. And the faces that Gray was making this episode was absolutely hilarious. I loved every single moment of it. But after all the comedy was done, because then they invited him to dinner, and there was funny moments at dinner. We hear the grandma keep spouting out, "Where's the bread? It's in your mouth, Grandma. Where's the bread? It's in your hands." So all of the comedy happened and took place, but there was a little bit of information tidbits in there as well. The moment when the grandma was, they decided to put her down for a nap, and she mentioned Megula or Megikula, or however you want to say his name, and then they kind of just let her say that. And then they kind of just took her off, and then we focused on everything that Gordon wanted to ask his father about curses. And then we find out, we go to his father's laboratory, and we find out it looks very deceiving, like he's just torturing people. But he tells Gordon and the rest of the Black Bulls that how did he say it? Anyway, he kind of reformed his magic to where he doesn't do curses anymore. He heals people. He's a recovery mage that uses his curse magic to heal and help people, which is epic. And that's where I said it came into where we got to see his father in a new light, because Gordon didn't know that his father was doing that. He thought his family was strictly poison and curse mages, and he didn't want to be a part of that. He wanted to make friends and be friends. And we see a different side of Gordon as well, because Gordon is talking not super loud, but he's talking pretty loud. He's very adamant about trying to save Asta and keep his friends safe with the Black Bull. So we got to see a very different side of Gordon, and I love that. And his father decided his magic is very weird and creepy, but it come across make it seem like he's going to attack you. But he came across and he analyzed Asta's body and everything. He told him his temperature and that there's no abnormalities, and that he can just tell that he doesn't have any magic. So the way that his powers came across, it definitely looked like they were about to get attacked. But in the long run, he just analyzed people, and we find out he's a recovery mage that uses his curse magic to heal people. Come on, man, that is epic. That is great writing for Black Clover. A lot of people don't give Black Clover its credit, but I guarantee you really have to give it its credit, because this episode was nothing but information, and the information was legit. Like I said, Grandma was talking about Megicula, and then we jump and we see Noelle talking to Dorothy, which is the captain of the Coral Peacocks, and she wanted to find out more about her mother and how her mother died, since Nozel told her mother didn't die in childbirth, giving birth to her. But that's what she was always told. That's what we were always told. And come to find out, she has to go into the dream world, because if you talk about it in the open, you end up in the possibility of becoming cursed as well. So they go to the dream world to discuss it. And I love how she was Dorothy had took Noelle's mind and made a copy of Asta and had her like, oh, lovey-dovey, and then a different copy of Nozel and was like, oh, Noelle. So it was fun to see that as well. But then, like I said, it got serious again, because then we went into the discussion of what happened to her mother. She was cursed by the demon Megicula, or Megicula, however you want to say it. And in that moment, like, I knew what happened because I read the manga, but in that moment, I instantly thought back to Gordon's grandma, and she just said that name about the demon being tied into their family, and that same demon killed Noelle's mother. So, oh boy, oh man, I don't want to, oh, it's so much. But anyway, yeah, so it was nice for them to mention that, and you know it's definitely going to come back into play with Megicula. And then we find out that Noelle's still talking to Dorothy, and now she has every reason to want to go kill this demon. Then we jump back and we see Gordon's father pulling up like a little map with his powers to show all of the demons or the curses within the Clover Kingdom. And he pulls up the Black Bull's base, and there's a huge flame at the Black Bull. Well, it's not huge, but it's a big flame at the Black Bull's base, and they're trying to figure out, well, the Fenrir only cares about Gray was just naming all the stuff that Vanessa only cares about drinking, and we all know Ghost only cares about his sister. So everybody cares about a bunch of different stuff, but none of that can be tied into curses. And then Asta comes up with the brilliant idea that it's Henry, because Henry is afflicted with the curse that lets him. Well, you can't really say lets. It's just a curse that draws and takes all the magic from all of the people around him, and you can see the flame on that little map of that. Then they decide to expand it to see where else the curses increase. And then they pull up to the Heart Kingdom, and there's this huge flame. And I want to talk about that, but that goes straight into the manga and the upcoming arc. But I don't want to give too much away. Just know that stuff going to go down in the Heart Kingdom, and that's where they're going to try to find more information, because they said that in this episode. But so now I'm assuming we're we're not assuming, but we're heading to the Heart Kingdom. We got to go to the Heart Kingdom because we saw on the map that there's a huge flame, and that's where they want to go to get information because they need more information. As of right now, they only know a little bit about the devils and the forbidden world, or the forbidden curses in the other world. They only know a little bit. Now they got to go try to find out more information, and that's going to lead them to the Heart Kingdom because they've seen on that map that there's a huge flame in the Heart Kingdom. There's so much I could definitely talk about, man, but if I do, it's going to lead into spoiler territory. But that's everything that happened this episode, man. Like I said, I really want to discuss more, but I can't because I don't want to spoil it for non-manga readers. This is your boy Dick Incredible, man. Don't forget to smash that like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.
Are we gonna play now? Ready for the show? I'm about to take down, you already know. Get the fuck out of my face now, yeah, you got it.